by living. Oh, what a funny thing to say. But your mama always said, look up into the sky, find the
Nan's got a story for you. Fresh.
Freshie.
Fresh out the oven.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, you know, things happen. You have conversations sometimes and you don't realise that you could be predicting the future without knowing it.
Okay.
Coincidences, right?
No such thing as a coincidence. Do you know that?
I agree.
There is absolutely.
I agree that
Yep.
there is no such thing as a coincidence. Guys, welcome to a new episode.
yes.
Oh my God. Hi.
We forget.
We just get so
sometimes,
caught up in our own little conversations.
dear.
How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
I had the pleasure of emceeing another one of my friends' weddings recently. The best, right? And I love emceeing weddings because a wedding's a good time. Everyone's in a good mood 9 times out of 10.
But you're also great at it.
Thank you so
Don't
much.
take-
No, listen.
No. You actually are.
I appreciate that, and I know I am.
Yeah, good because
But
you love it. So
because I love
own
it. That's
Yeah.
right. It's because I love it. Because it's the most important day for people.
Yes.
And I love being a part of it. I love bringing some magic to it and making it run smoothly. I love that. Couple of horror stories. Okay. I've seen some things. Right. Most DJs, I think, or most vendors in the wedding industry would be able to attest to this and say they've seen things. It might be things like prep going wrong or bride and groom getting a little bit too eager on the gas, on the drinks maybe across the night.
yeah.
I've seen brides holding up their grooms at the end of the night and grooms holding their brides up at the end of the night. I've seen things happen earlier in the night that probably shouldn't. So how's this for a little story? Probably about a year or so ago, there was a lovely wedding being set up at the wine centre. Don't know if I can name drop the venue, but it's not the venues. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Lovely wedding being set up, right, in this venue. And they had a gorgeous cake, 3 or 4 tiers on a clear.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you know where it's
I
going.
can
You already know where it's going. So this beautiful cake is all set up. The room is set up about 10 minutes before they let 300 guests in. Somebody knocks over the cake.
Oh,
Bang, there is cake everywhere. It's disaster. So luckily, the staff immediately get in, clean it all up. Luckily, there is another wedding tomorrow. They have a display cake. They have one of those foam cakes.
Oh, my.
Okay.
Don't even get me started on this. But anyway, yes.
That's a whole different conversation. But they have a display. So they pull out the display cake. Bride and groom come in, do their
Toast.
do their toast, do the cutting. And the whole time they're thinking, this is not my cake. Where is my cake? So then they get told later on, I'm so sorry, this is what happened, circumstances. Okay, can't help it, fair enough. Wind the clock forward to my friend's wedding recently. And I get them set up and I'm getting them lined up out the front and I've got the bridal party all set up and everyone's in order. I've checked names, we're wrapped, the room's ready, the crowd's ready. And it's my friends, so I'm out.
Yeah, special.
They're feeling a little bit nervous as they're coming up. And I said, don't feel nervous, guys. I said, look, I've seen crazy things happen. I've seen crazy things at these weddings. There was one wedding where they had this beautiful cake and the cake got knocked over. And then they walked in and they cut the cake and they were like, well, it's not my cake. But don't worry. That's the craziest thing that I've probably seen in the last 12 months. Anyway, go inside, do the introductions, ladies and gentlemen. Housekeeping. Introduce the bridal parties. Energy is high. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Go off.
Yeah.
I don't want to say their names. Hence that people are going to be like, just say their name. No, I'm not going to say their name. But introduce them. They come in. The crowd is going wild. It's great. They cut the cake. We do the toast. It's beautiful. They go back. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause. Let them take their seats. You take yours. I then go immediately to them, as I always do after that, and be like, guys, well done. Welcome to your reception. Take your seat. She pulls me aside. She's like, Vince, did you tell me that story to prepare me? I said, to prepare you for what? She's like, that's not my cake.
No.
It's not my cake.
You had just told it.
And I had just told her. I said, what are you talking about? I was mortified. What are you talking about? She's like, that's not my cake. I said, what do you mean it's not your cake? You just cut the cake. She's like, that's the slab cake. That's the cake we're going to eat for dessert.
Oh, no.
So she's like, I decorated the cake myself.
Oh, so she knew that was not.
She knew. But Nance, here's this for a turn of events. So they had come in to have their first look at the room. The cake wasn't out. The cake's the last thing that we bring out, right? Or the venue will bring out. When the cake was brought out, the cake that was placed there was you know those old Italian continental wedding
Oh
cakes?
yes, that cream, that
my God.
piping, the stripy.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
look, it wasn't as
gosh.
traditional as that, but it was very, very close to that, like chocolate slab cake. It had white piped love hearts on it. And when that came out, like I did look at it and I thought,
Ordinary.
no, not ordinary. I can't say ordinary. I did tell my mate after. I was like, I was a little underwhelmed, but I was like, fair enough. But it was more like, like the music style is quite like 80s inspired as well. Like maybe it's a bit of like a fun retro, like that's a legit Italian continental cake. Like that's killer. Just doesn't have the look of what I expected. So when I saw it, I was like, well, that must be the cake. As did everybody else. People were taking photos of this cake being like, that's the cake. So, like I said, she pulls me aside. She's like, did you tell me that to prepare me? So for no reason at all did I have to tell them this story other than to calm their nerves. Lo and behold, inside, it happened to them.
So what happened?
So I was mortified, number one. I then asked the venue, is there another cake? They said, yeah, the person who grabbed it just grabbed the wrong one. They didn't realise that they grabbed her.
Oh.
So I have to then explain, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to allow them to recut their cake because there's a bit of a mix-up here. This is not the cake. And so people like understood and it was great and we did it again. We did the toast again.
Yeah.
We like got the footage and the shots.
Because
with
then she
the
wants
real
photos
cake.
of her cake, damn it. She's decorated
1,000%. I will show you the photos after and you'll see the difference. But it was so funny, the politeness of everybody who was like looking at this initial cake and being like, and she decorated it herself. Oh, she's done a good job. But it was just these couple of like piped hearts. And everyone was like, everyone was like, oh yeah, no, that's the cake.
Well, that
is
looks
it?
like
Yeah.
she decorated it.
It looks like the cake. I think that's the cake. But my heart dropped when she said, did you tell me to prepare me? Have you ever had that where you've told a story or an anecdote and
yes.
then it happens?
Can I? Oh my gosh! I don't know if I can say this story. I can because it was a long time ago. Oh yes, can I?
Please. I welcome you to.
Okay. Actually, I don't know. We haven't planned for this.
No, that's okay. Come on. I haven't
We'll
planned
cut
for
it.
this
All
either.
right. Okay. There was this time, and I'm talking. It was about 15 years ago, right? And I was with my girlfriend Jules, and we were driving home from the shops. As I'm talking,
I can see your face. Like
don't
your smile
know.
is getting bigger, but I feel like your heart rate's getting faster.
because I don't know if I'm anyway.
Come on.
We've actually done this more than once, but I'm talking about this. But anyway,
Repeat offenders.
no, we are. So anyway, we are driving home from the shops, and as we're driving home, I had recently, I think, broken up with a partner back then, and I think Jules suggested, because they lived near the shops, right? We should do a drive-by. We should do a drive-by their house. And I was like, are you joking? And not that I wasn't all for it. I was like, if I was in your car, I'd be all for it. In my car, we are not doing a drive-by. So we're driving and we're still sort of in the vicinity that we can just take one turn to do this drive-by. Come on, Nance, let's do it. I am not driving past because it's not like the end of their street was led to the shops or anything like that. There is no reason for me to turn down that street.
Other than
doing a drive-by.
have a little thicker nose.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Stalker
right.
patrol over here,
Hello.
right? So anyway, somehow there we are driving. Next minute, Nancy indicates. She goes, Nance, what's the worst thing that could happen? His dog runs out in the middle of the road as we're driving past and he comes out to get him? I swear on my father's grave, bless you, Dad, I indicate, I kid you not, this dog comes out. He has come out literally as we are in front of the house. And she's like, there he is. And I've just gone, oh my God, what do I do?
Please tell me you hit him with the car by
So
accident.
I have driven past the house and I'm like, I have to go back because there's no other reason for us to be driving past. She's like, just drive. And I'm like, I can't. He's seen us. So we have done a U-turn.
But why did you do the
And
U-turn?
he's in the middle of the road going, was that Nancy? And I'm thinking,
But why did you do the U-turn?
because it was obvious. I don't know. I'm literally sweating now.
I can see you actually
am
like
I
perspiring.
sweating?
I can hear your heart across the table.
I'm sweating because I'm like, I have to explain it. And she's like, just keep driving.
You could have just driven past and lived your life.
No, I couldn't.
Okay, you have a problem with U-turns and going back for things, right? Because
because so we've turned back and he's in the middle of the road. He's called the dog in. He's checked the mail. So we've wound down the window.
But why
and so
did you
then,
wind the window down?
Because I've got verbal diarrhea
my
now.
God,
By now, I've got
Nancy.
verbal diarrhea, and and she's like, "Oh, hi, so and so. How you going? Hi." And I'm like, I literally pushed her face out of the way. Right, I push and I've leant forward. We're amicable, so it's okay, right? But I'm like, look, so and so, this is what's happened. Julie has said, wouldn't it be funny if we drove past and what's the worst that could happen?
And
The
it
dog
happened.
runs about.
Oh
Da, da,
my
da, 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 da. And so here we are. And I've just owned it. I have owned
bless
it.
you.
And he's gone, okay.
All right.
And I think he even said something like, do you guys want to come in? And I'm like, no.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, have a nice night. See you later. And we have driven home. And I think I just drove in the silence. She was, I don't know. She was just, I can't believe we just, and I'm like, I can't believe you made me do that. And yeah,
I love that. I love your impulse decision to turn. I love the way that she said, what's the worst that could happen? And okay, I'll be honest with you. When you said, what's the worst that could happen? The dog could run out.
And I ran
he's
over the-
I
Oh,
legitimately, that's why I don't know if you could tell, if you're watching, you
no.
would have seen my
I'm
mouth.
actually still sweating after
Yeah, I
this.
can see. But like, my mouth was on the floor. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to hit the dog or hit
Yeah,
like
and we've
worst
done-
case.
Yeah.
But either way, like you going back, oh, you are so funny. You're
Well, because
a
it was a
classic.
random little street.
But even then,
There is
right?
no reason for Nancy to be down the street.
Is it a dead end? So you
No.
could have
Nah.
could have gone to
Nah.
the end of the street,
Nah.
turned right,
Nah.
and never seen him again.
Nah.
You are so funny.
No,
We're going to
because
talk
it's
about.
Adelaide, I would see them again at some point.
But
That's
even then, he's not going to be like, "Did you drive down my street 6 months ago?" Was that?
yeah,
you?"
but then face to face, you'd know that I'm lying.
Oh, yeah, that's true because you can't hold a lie
So
to
then,
save your life.
and her.
So you are so funny with U-turns, and the reason I flag U-turns. Do you remember that time that you got? I think you were running late for work one day. Can we talk about that? Nancy was running late for work one day, and she got what she assumed was a speeding ticket. So she like saw the flash, kept driving, and then thought, "Nah, did I see a flash?" So she did a U-turn to double check.
I needed to know.
But she got
for
flashed
sure.
again. How many times did you get flashed? Was it 2? You got 2 times.
Two times.
Oh.
I needed to be sure. No, do you know why? Because I needed like a savings fund, and I was thinking like, was that a speed camera? Because I need to know because I need to put
Because
it,
if
put
it is
aside
one,
for
I need to
$100.
put $600 away.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh, make that 800.
When
because
you
as
came
I'm
in
looking,
and told me that,
yeah,
as you were looking, she's still
Yeah.
cruising through at 78 kilometres an hour.
I have done that.
You and your U-turns get you in trouble, I think.
Yeah, I know they do, but so anyway, there's no such thing as a coincidence.
Do you think it's just because we say it? Do you think we knew it before? Or like, is there an energetic, cosmic connection that like Jules would have known in that moment that what she like? Did she have a premonition?
She's
of it?
good with that too.
Did I know? And this is what we were saying at the dinner table at the wedding because everyone was like, what happened? And I was like, I couldn't even tell you. I said, but I just told them this story for no reason.
Yeah.
They're like, what story? And I said, I told them a story about somebody's cake getting knocked over and then it's not their cake and there's fucking not their cake. Ah! And they were like, but why would you say that? I was like, I don't know. They were like, you must have sensed it. But how? But how?
Right, I know. Look, we'll decide if this episode goes to air. I need to think about this.
I love it. I think the listeners are going to really enjoy that one then. If you see Nancy Tintano doing a U-turn around your neighbourhood, folks, send her home, please. Send her home. We'll see you next week.
Am I
It's too much.
Oh, what a funny thing to say.
Nah, worth it. Worth every
I don't
second.
know.
I think everyone's going to love
I'm
this.
actually sweating.
I know, you actually are.
Am I? Is it
Nah.
coming true?
I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. No, you're not. You're not. But that's a great lesson in that. Don't do U-turns. Just drive, man.
Just